Daf Lamed Gimel Amud Aleph will begin Daf Lamed Beis Amud Beis, 4 lines from the bottom. The Mishnah said that the Kohen Gadol, he does the shchita of the Dovid, and then somebody else, another Kohen, finishes it off for him. We learned previously that the Amoraim said that how much does a Kohen shecht? It said Roy Shnaim, the majority of the 2 Simonim. Zok the Gemara, Va'af Reish Lakish Savar Rosh Shnaim. Reish Lakish also holds that it is the Roiv of the Shnaim. The Amar Reish Lakish, he says, V'chi me'achar sheshanina ruba shalachad kamoyehu. The Mishnah in Chulin talks about the shechting of the Chulin, of the shchit of the behemoth. So it says in the Mishnah that ruba shalachad kamoyehu, that shechting a majority, a Roiv of the Siman, is like shechting the entire siman. So Lama Shanina, then why does it say in the Sefer the Mishnah Roiv Echad V'Oif Roiv Shnaim B'Behema, that the requirement therefore by an oif you have to shecht 1 siman? It's Roiv Echad, it's a majority of 1. In a behema you have to shecht 2 simanim, both the trachea and the esophagus, the kon and the veshet, and it's the Roiv of the kon and the veshet. Why is it have to reiterate that it's a Roiv? We know it says Roiv Echad Ruba Shalachad Kamayu. Because because we learned in our Mishnah, it says Hevilu as a Talmud, they brought the Talmud to the Kohen Gadol, Karotzo Merek Acher, Shchita al Yodai, the Kohen cuts it, and another Kohen completes the Shchita, the Kibel Asadam Uzraka, and the Kohen Gadol does a Kabbalah Sadam and does the Zrika. Yochel Loi Merek Apostle, you might think that if he doesn't do the Merika, if the other Kohen does not finish off the Shchita, it should be possible. The Gemara interrupts now to ask a question. How could you have such a havamina? Apostle, if you didn't do the marika, you might think it should be possible. How could you say it should be possible if it was essential? If the finishing off, cutting the complete siman was essential, then then this would be a completion of the avodah with somebody else other than the Kohen Gadol. V'tanya kol avodas Yom Kippur menik sheres alabai. And we learned that all the avodas of Yom Kippur is only kosher with the Kohen Gadol. So if it is essential to cut the entire siman, if Rav is not enough, then how can you say that another Kohen can finish it off? There would be an avodah with someone other than the Kohen Gadol, and all of the avodas of Yom Kippur have to be done with the Kohen Gadol. Tosfos asks, yes, but the Talmud is not one of the avodas of Yom Kippur. That's a daily avodah. The avodas of Yom Kippur, that the avodas of the mitzvahs hayayim have to be done with the Kohen Gadol. Tosfos answers that nevertheless, midrabanan, they treated the Talmud also as an avodah that has to be done with the Kohen Gadol. So, therefore, the Gemara asks, how could it be that it was essential? If it's essential, how could it be done by a different Kohen? The Gemara says, you might think that it would be possible midrabanan, that the completion of the siman would be a requirement midrabanan, and therefore the Kohen Gadol would have to do the complete siman. That's why the Mishnah in Chulin says, the Sefer says, to teach me that Roiv is enough. So therefore the Mishnah in Chulin is talking in two cases. The Reish is talking about Chulin, and the Sefer is referring to our Mishnah over here, which is talking about Kachim. So on Kopanim, what we learn out is that to complete the siman, cutting of the complete siman is not even a chiv d'Rabbanan. Well, you're telling me it doesn't even have Absul D'Rabbanan. Lama Lila Marek. So why does another Kohen have to complete the Shchita? Our answer is Mitzvah Lamarek. It's a mitzvah to do it completely, so that, as the Ritva explains, so that you can be makabel the dam. Since there is a chiv to makabel the dam, then it's a mitzvah, therefore, lemarek, to sever the siman completely so that the blood flows out freely, that the Kohen can therefore ensure that he's going to be makabel all of the blood, all of the dam. The Gemara now is going to go through the Seder, the order of what the avodas were done during the daily avodah, during the regular day of the week. What are the Seder? It's the Seder of the avodah. So the Gemara says, Abai Misar Marach Mishmei, the Gemara, he listed the order of the maroch, what was done on the Mizbeach, Mishmei de Gemara, based on the Kabbalah. And this goes with in accordance with Abba Shol. So there was two marachas, there were two pyres of on the Mizbeach. One was the main one, and that was where the korbanos were burnt on. There was a secondary one, a smaller one, which was used to take the coals from there to burn the ketairos, the daily ketairos that they burned on the Mizbeach Hazah. So the Maracha Gedela comes before the Maracha Shniya Shel Ketairos. They arrange the first Maracha first. Maracha Shniya Shel Ketairos Kedems L'Seder Shnei Gzirei Eitzim. The Maracha Shniya Shel Ketairos precedes the Shnei Gzirei Eitzim. Now there was two logs of wood, two logs that were put on top of the Maracha Gedela. The pasuk says ubir aleh kain eitzim. It says eitzim plural. There's two logs of wood. Now those two logs, those two shnei gzirei, were put on the main marach. Nevertheless, as we'll see, the Gemara analyzes in detail each one of these steps. But the maracha gedela comes first, the maracha shnei shel ketairos, and then the shnei gzirim, which is on the maracha gedela. The seder shnei gzirei eitzim kaidem ledishim mizbeach hapnimi, and the cedar of the two logs precedes the separation of the ashes from the Mizbeach HaPnimi, from the Mizbeach HaZav. We learned earlier that the beginning, the Aveda starts at the beginning with the Dishon of the Mizbeach HaChitzai. But on this order over here, then we're talking about the Mizbeach HaPnimi. That comes after the Shnei Gzirei Eitzim. V'dishon Mizbeach HaPnimi, Kayim Latavas Chamesh Neres. Now that precedes the Chamesh Neres, the cleaning out of the five lamps of the menorah. The menorah had 7 lamps. It was divided into 2 stages and 2 separate segments, the 5 and 2. So after there was the Dishim Mizbeach HaPnimi, was the cleaning out of 5 lamps of the menorah. And the cleaning out of the 5 lamps, that preceded the Dam HaTamid. The Dam HaTamid, Rashi says, that means the Shchita, and it means the Shchita, Kabbalah, and Zrika of the Dam of the Tamid. Now that preceded the cleaning out of the 2 neros, the remaining 2 neros that came after the Dam HaTamid. That preceded the ketairos, the burning of the ketairos came after that. The ketairos and the ketairos preceded the burning of the evarim on the Mizbeach, HaChitzai. The Evorim lemincha, and the burning of the Evorim that preceded the mincha, the minchas nesachim that came with the Tamid. So the minchas nesachim, the hakrova of that, came after the burning of the Evorim. Umincha lechavitim, and the minchas nesachim of the Tamid that preceded the chavitim. That's the mincha of the Kohen Gadol, the Asiris Haifa, that was divided in half in the morning, half in the evening. The chavitim l'nesachim, and the chavitim comes now before it precedes the nesachim, the wine of the nesachim for the korban tamid. So previously we were talking about the mincha of the nesachim. Now we're talking about the wine of the nesachim, that's brought with the tamid. So that comes after the chavitim. On a day where there's a musaf, the nesachim precedes the musaf. And on Shabbos they burn the ketairos that was on the shulchan with the lechem upon it. So on a day where there's musaf on Shabbos, you have musaf and you have the bazichim, they burn the ketairos that was on the shulchan. The lechem upon was on the shulchan for a week, and at the in the middle of the Shabbos, then they switched. They removed the old lechem. They burnt the ketairos, and that lechem was mutter for the kohanim to eat. And they had the cedar of the new lechem. So the musafim are bezichim. The musafim precedes the bezichim. And after that comes the Talmud Shel Ben Rabbaim. It says by the morning Talmud, it says v'hiktar aleha, on it the Chelvei Hashlomim, meaning we darshan from Chelvei Shlomim, a lashon from Hashlem, to complete. Aleha Hashlem kol karbanas kula. on the morning Tamid Shel Shachar, after that, that's when you complete all of the korbanos. Meaning that, and after all of that comes the Tamid Shel Ben Arbaim. The Tamid Shel Ben Arbaim comes after all of that. So now the Gemara is going to discuss all of these stages. First, the Mei Marocha, then the Marocha Shniya Shel Keteres. Minolan, where we know this from the sign, because we learned in the Brisa, He ha'oila al moita al hamizbeach kol halayla. It says this is the oila, it's on the flame, on the mizbeach the whole night. Zu Marocha Gedola. That refers to the Marocha Gedola, that where it was on the night and the oil was burnt on it. That is the main maroch. And then it says the fire of the mizbeach shall burn on it. Zu maroch shniya shel keteres. That's referring to the maroch shniya shel keteres. So therefore, it's referring to the second one. Now, the first one that's mentioned is the maroch gedola. So therefore, the cedar of the maroch gedola comes before the maroch shel keteres. Well, I know that there's two, but how do I know which one is first? Well, I know one is from before the other, but how do I know that it's a Marach Gedola that's first? Maybe Keteres first. Mar says, Mistaber Marach Gedola, Adif, Shekan Kabaras, and Meruba. It's Mistaber to say the main one is Adif, and it comes first because you have more carbonas on it. The Marach Shniya was only for the Keteres. Mar says, Adarabba, Marach Shniya Adifa, Shekan Machnisim Mimenu Lefnim. Maybe I should say the chashivas of the Marach Shniya Keteres is more. It should have a priority because from these coals, that's what you burn. You burn the Keteres on them, and that comes into the heichal. The Gemara says afilu hachi. Nevertheless, kaparosa meruba diva. Still, the mila of that is kaparosa meruba outweighs the chashivas that the Marach Shniya Shel Keteres is to burn the Keteres that's in the heichal. By same, alternatively, you can say iloi mashkav eitzon Marach Shniya miloi mile Marach Gedola. If you don't have coals from the Marach Shniya, would you not bring in the coals from the Marach Gedola? You would, and therefore it also could have an application for a burning for an avodah in the heichal. So therefore, it's not excluded from that mile, even though it's not normally done that way, but it's not excluded from it. So therefore, first the Marach Gedola, then the Marach Shniya. Marach Shniya Shel Keteres kadems l'sira shnei gzira eitzim, but the Marach Shniya Keteres precedes the shnei gzira eitzim. Menolan, how do we know that? The pasuk says, "Ubir Allah kain eitzim ba'bayker ba'bayker." It says that he burns on it the wood every morning. It says Aleha on it. So we make a point of saying Alev al chaverta on this one, but not on the other one. Mechlal de Isa l'chaverta. Must be that there are two marachas, and it's saying it's burned on this one, not the other one. So it must be that the Marach Shniya was already there before you put on the Shnei Gzir Eitzim. But what do you mean? How can you make this drasha? Don't you need it to teach me that the Shnei Gzirim were placed on top of the Maracha? They were placed on top of it. It has to tell you the Pashup Pshat, that that's where you put the Gzirim. The more answers, Trey Allah Ksivi. It says it twice, so therefore we can darshan both. The pasuk says, "Va'eshal mizbeach tukad boy loisichba uber aleha hakain eitzim v'bayker or aleha oilav hiktar aleha chal v'shlam." So in fact, this says it 3 times, but it says it more than once. So therefore, we make this drasha, and we also say that the shnei gzir eitzim are after the Marach Shniya. So that precedes the separation of the ashes from the inner mizbeach. Somewhere it says, that even though the Shnei Gzirim says and as far as the Dish Mizbeach HaPnimi, it also says so why should I say the Gzir Eitzim takes precedence? Nevertheless, a machshir is on it. The Gzir Eitzim are machshir. It enables to use from the wood to burn for the ketayros. So therefore, it's adif. What do you mean a machshir? One that is machshir is a preparation for an avodah. It's machshir, someone enables you to do the avodah. What is the machshir? What are we dealing with? Shnei gzir eitzim. It's a Shnei Gzir I v'hamar Shnei Gzir on the Maracha Gedola Azli. The Shnei Gzir are for the Maracha Gedola. They're not used as a preparation for the Ketairos. You don't take the coals from them for the Ketairos. So therefore, it's not a Machshir in that sense. So why should we say that the Shnei Gzir are before the Dishon Mizbeach HaPnimi? The Shnei Gzir are not relevant to the Dishon Mizbeach HaPnimi. It's not relevant to the Mizbeach HaPnimi. It's not being used for the Ketairos. The Shnei Gzir are on the Maracha Gedola. He says Shum Eitzim. That's true, that these particular logs are not going to be used for the Ketairos, but wood is being used for Ketairos, and therefore it's in the category of Eitzim, and Eitzim is a Machshir, and therefore the Eitzim Shnei Gzir should take precedence over the Dish Mizbeach HaPnimi. Ravina Omar, Ravina says, he learns it the way Rabbeinu Eliakim learns. This is a different teretz. It's a new teretz. Ravina Homer Hoil V'Hiskal B'Maracha Geimer. He says a different teretz, that since he started with the Maracha, then he finishes the Maracha. So before he moves on to something else, which is the Dishim Mizbeach HaPnimi, he finishes off the Seder of the Maracha, so that is concluded with the Shnei Gzir Eitzim. Rav Ashi Amar, he says, similar to what we said before, Iloi Mashkach Eitzim L'Maracha Shniya Miloi Ma'al Miracha Gedola. If he doesn't have Eitzim from the Maracha Shniya, wouldn't he bring from the Maracha Gedola? So therefore it is considered to be a Machshir, because it potentially and sometimes is used for the burning of the Ketairos.